Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be taking a look at a different style of fixed line fly fishing. This is the Ansel from the Keiryu Rod Company. So far in the series I've been showing you a lot of traditional Western style fly gear as well as tenkara, but the Keiryu rods are a little bit different. Keiryu is similar to tenkara. They are both use the same fixed line system and they're both telescopic, but typically Keiryu rods are significantly longer. They are up to 17, 18 feet long. Now, this Ansel is their most compact model. This one is going to be a lot better for backpacking or for smaller streams and for small to mid-sized trout. Now, just because a Keiryu rod is traditionally used with live bait in Japan, that doesn't mean that we're just going to throw this rod into that category and leave it there. The properties that work really well with live bait, like a fast action and a strong backbone, is going to work equally well when nymphing. When you're fishing a nymph, unlike a dry fly, which is on top of the water, a nymph is usually weighted, and you're going to fish this subsurface. So you can't necessarily see this. So you're going to need either a fast action tip, or you're going to need some type of indicator to know when you have a strike. And if you really think about it, most of an insect's life, as far as the fish is concerned, it's going to be subsurface. The only time a fly is going to be on top of the water is when it's fully developed, or when it's in its dying stages and comes back down to the water. Now, this Ansel is available as a kit or just the rod, and either way you're going to get the hard-sided tube like this. So it's a fairly skinny diameter, so it's not going to take up a ton of space in your pack, and it's got these cool knurled ends on the tubes. Now, this is 18.5 inches long, so this is going to be able to be strapped on the outside of your backpack, but this is going to fit in even most day packs. All right, let's pop the rod out of here. Now, all of the rods from Keiryu Rod Company have a lifetime warranty, but it still gives you a lot of peace of mind to have a hard side tube like this. Now, it comes in a sock, and that's just to protect the finish. And check that thing out. Before I show you the rod, there is one more thing in this tube here, and they've included an extra tip section. Now, with any fixed line fly fishing system, the tip is always going to be the most fragile, and Keiryu Rod Company just sends you an extra just in case. So this is the last two sections, and I've got my Lillian already on here. So there's a pretty good shot of the tip section with the Lillian already on it, and I've got two of these, two sections telescoped together, so you can repair your rod right in the field. And if you haven't seen these yet, this is just ridiculously small. This is like mechanical pencil lead size. Super sensitive. And it's really nice to have this in the field with you so you can make a quick emergency repair. Here's the Ansel rod, and this thing is a gorgeous looking little rod. Now, this only weighs 2.3 ounces. When it's collapsed like this, this is 15.8 inches. And when this thing is fully extended, this is 10.9 feet. So the caps on this look like they're in aluminum. So this is kind of flared out the end. This is where the rod telescopes from. So this is the business end of the rod. There's all our sections. There's our Lillian. And when you put this back in, it's got a really positive engagement to it. See if you can hear this. Now the back side, I've got a little split ring here, and this is knurled. So this is where you would take the rod apart. So you could take this off and the sections come out from the backside if you were to need to replace that tip or if you just need to clean the rod. Another important thing here before we even expand this out is you can see here at our grip section, this doesn't have any foam. There's no cork here. So you're literally holding on to the rod itself. So that is going to be the most sensitive option. And it doesn't look like much, but this has like a matte finish to the paint, this gray section. So it does have a grip. It's not really gritty, so I can still slide this into my pocket. But you can definitely feel the finish on here compared to the smooth finish throughout the rest of the rod. So this is going to give you enough of a grip where you don't have to worry about it slipping out of your hands, but you're still able to slide this in and out of a pouch or in and out of your pocket. So the opening sequence on all these telescopic rods is going to be the same. You're going to want to open this from the smallest section out to the largest section. And here we have our Lillian. And the Lillian is a fine piece of cordage that's attached right to the tip of the rod here. And you see I've got a stopper knot. Now our line is going to attach to this with a girth hitch. So you can swap lines out, you can have lines pre-rigged. It's pretty cool. So here's our sections here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So we have an 11 section rod. This thing is super sensitive here. So this is a really sensitive rod, and if you see here, this middle section is a little bit thicker. So that's our backbone. So that's going to let us really set the hook and play larger fish. And then when you get out to this fine end section here, man, is that just the slightest bit of flex puts this rod into action. Really cool. Now to close up these rods, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to go from the largest section to the next smallest, but we're not going to just grab it up here and start pushing it down. We're going to want to grab it just above the junction and go ahead and close it up. Now all the rods are going to come with that case as well as an extra tip, but because this was a kit, I've got a floating fly line here. So this comes on a foam spool, and if you haven't seen these yet, it's not only a great way to keep your line organized, but if you're trying to go bare minimal, this just slides right down over the end of the rod, so that's that much less you have to have with you. Now this one, I've got a ring on here, and that ring is where you're just going to attach your tippet. And this top orange line here, this is going to go onto that Lillian using the girth hitch. If this is the kind of thing you'd like to see, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at OutdoorCore.com. Keiryu Rod Company is the first U.S. brand to introduce the Keiryu style rod. And rather than just bringing over the system from Japan and leaving it the same, they're trying to advance it and make these as high a performance rod as possible. They're constantly working with guides and fishing professionals all over the U.S. So this is definitely a system you need to check out. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.